Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. I don't think we have a whole great deal to look forward to in the market. I think we're still in this chop zone here. Hey, Steph. Good morning, Aaron, Misha, Mark, Julie. Good morning. JW, Thomas, Gregor, Alan, Brett, Ron, Chip, Bob, John. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're here. Okay, I do want to remind you that here, when I go to my lunch today, 10:30 Eastern, I won't be back today, and I won't be here tomorrow. And we've got a link here. It'll put it out here in the room where you can go over to the Right Way Options room, and you'll have to. You can sit with Doug if you'd like for 2 days, today and tomorrow. So. Thank you very much, Doug, if you're here. Appreciate it. All right, so, it looks like we're down a little bit here. I want to take a look at this chart, maybe. There we go. Magic. This is the 3-bar chart. I don't have the real time turned on, so we're not seeing the move down here this morning. But you can see the tight range that we're in. And something needs to change. It really does. We need to either break out or we need to break down. If everything stays in this center, it's just chop. There certainly can be money made, for those that are on top of their game, those that are getting, looking at some, I'll say good charts and good entries. You've got good rules. You might be making some money. Otherwise, honestly, most people, I think, are just win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Sort of just something to do during the day. And if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with it. But I just want to point this out right here, that as long as we stay in this little band that we're in, the market is not going to. We're not going to be given any great trades. So we really need something to happen. Now, tomorrow we've got those CPI numbers, so it's possible that shakes us either to the upside or shakes us to the downside. In which case, if it does, then there may be some good trading. The reason that could be good trading, and let's take a look at the bullish side first. The bullish side, we would call this a rest area through here. Probably should have just done it like this. We'll call this just sort of a rest area. So here we've gone from a low to a high to a higher low. We rallied and we're resting. So this is what you would call a leg. This is the resting. And if we break out, what we'll be looking for is the next leg. That's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is, well, some things didn't change. We have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low. Okay, rock and roll. Bulls did a great job. Now, we're up here testing this level, and if this level fails, then what we'll look for is that downside. Maybe we get a little test, which actually would be very, very nice. And then here we push to the downside, and this becomes a top. So watch this. A breakout could lead to that next leg. A breakdown could lead to that next leg, to the downside. And if we end up taking these lows out, then I think we've got something going here. While I'm here, let me change this to a daily chart. There we go. While I'm here, this is, I think, what we've got for a longer term. We've got this move like this, just down into here. We've got a relief rally. We've got this move. We've got a relief rally. Before the end of all this, I suspect we do something like this. Right now, we're in a little relief rally, just like this right here. Just like this little tiny one right here. We're in this relief rally. And again, it is possible that we continue up, which really would just be another relief rally until we break out about up here. This is just a relief rally to me, and there's this risk of moving down. So more of the same today is what I suspect. So anyway, let's take a peek at some charts. Let's look at Nike. Nike is still a possible long trade here. We're coming out of a bottom. We've made it over that 50-period moving average. We have a nice flag type chart pattern where we rally, flag, or rest, and now we're looking for that next leg up. Let's take a look at a short. NCLH here. We've done this. Here we go. We've gone from this low to this high. This is the high that we needed to break out of right here. This was the important high. And we came up, I don't even think we got close to it. We started to roll over. So now we might see that short, possibly right in this area here. And then even, down testing these lows right in here. Let's look at a long. mRNA might be setting up. If you take a look at this bottom, I think we've got a pretty nice bottom here where we pop down, we pop up. That gives us that inverted head and shoulder. There's your head. Here we've rallied up a little bit. And up above 153.30, 153.35, I think there's a possibility we might look at 211. Now, I know that's a stretch, but I do believe it's very doable. The first thing, though, we need to see stabilization above that 155.35 right up here. So if that happens, then that's what I'll be looking for on a trade. Yeah, Deer for short, DE. So Deer, here we've been in this downtrend. Okay. Yes, we broke out. The thing about a breakout, it's just not arbitrarily a buy. Just because you break out. One, you need to test, and then you need to move up above this high right here. Now, that would be a bullish scenario, which I'm not looking for this to be bullish. That just would be. What I'm looking more is we have a bearish H pattern setting up, and I suspect there's more downside. Let's put a line right here. More downside into that 319 area, and that is about 10.5% right in here. So let's keep an eye on Deer for a short. Let's do another short. Intel, look at Intel. So Intel's down here in this testing mode of this area here. We start to fall through. Let's move to a weekly chart just so we can see more of the chart. And if we fall through here, look right in there. That's where support is. I don't think this is support. I don't see how it is. I mean, it doesn't mean the buyers just can't come in and say, hey, we're buying it up. I just don't see that as support. So we're going to move our line down into here. Now we'll go back to the daily. We can see a better picture here. And now we're looking at something 7 to 8% move down to, we'll call it 38. Let's see if we can find a long, maybe. Let's look at AUY. So AUY, this is absolutely, my favorite type chart pattern. And this is just a rally and a pullback. A lot of flags. I mean, this is typically a flag. You can get a pennant out of it. Some sort of even just a square rectangle box out of it. We can call this what we want. What it is just simply that rally, that rest, and we're looking for that continuation. All of these are continuation patterns. And we're just looking for that continuation. So here we are right now in AUY. And here is our rally. Here's our pullback right in here. This is making our flag, or whatever you want to really call it. And then here's our continuation, a little bit sloppy. I'm going to move up into here. Well, here it is doing it again. So I want to watch this for buyers to come in. And I think over 560 to 565, that might trigger an entry. First target would be about, we'll call it $6. And then after that, we've got these highs over here on AUY. The big thing I would look for is holding over that 50 period moving average. Let's look at a short. So here is Delta Airlines. You can see how that thing is it's just struggling with actually three important moving averages. The 50 period moving average and the 200, they're equal importance to me. And then right in here, it might be hard to see it. You can see the 500 period moving average, and it just can't get going. In fact, I mean, it tried, and now it's just lost its wings here. So what I'm looking for is more downside. Obvious test areas will be these lows. If we end up failing those lows, then maybe something right in here. We have a little gap, possibly even lower, but from right in here down to 32.20, that's almost 13%. So I think that's a pretty decent short. Let's look at X for a short. X has been in a downtrend. So we've got this big top, not big necessarily, but you have a top in here, okay? Okay, we'll do it that way. So we have a top in here. And then here we move down, and then we try to rally up. Almost looks bullish. Almost makes you think, hey, I want to be in this chart. That looks kind of bullish. Die-hard bulls can absolutely make a point here, hey, we've got some support. You've got a wick down here. You're going to shop for a long. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, except when we have a reasonably good trend, which I think that is a very reasonably good trend to the downside, then it's not about one candle or one itsy bitsy little chart pattern. Something has to turn it, unless you're just a bottom picker. If you're a bottom picker and you're just basically picking and hoping nobody sees you do it, then okay. But there is nothing logical about this to be long. To be long, it's going to need, we can take it from here to this high, and it can do what it wants right here. But this is not a long trade till it gets back up here. And technically, that would be a trade. But it has to make that low, high, higher low, higher high. So above this area. Okay, with that said, we're not even remotely close to that. And then you top it off with failing the 200 period moving average. You top it off with the 50 period moving average pointing down. You also top it off where we have this top. Here we've run down. Go back and take a look at charts and keep in mind the market is still under extreme pressure, okay? Extreme pressure. So keep that in mind. But go back and look at charts. And when you see that first run to the downside, just let me know how many charts you find that nail the bottom and then start back up. It just doesn't happen. So what happens here is this has got to run out. It's got to run out. And here's the chart pattern. Let's change color. Like this, like this. It's got to move more down more to run everything out of it. Once it runs everything out of it, then the buyers might step back in. So in the end here, I'm seeing maybe down in this area, possible 30% trade on this. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Did anything new pop up? Did we do? Well, let's look at DKNG. So I'm liking DKNG for a possible long, but it's not a possible long until we break out over 1590, 95 right in here. This is going to be the important high. We break out of there. When I know it looks a little tasty right here, I know that. You know, you got a pair of dojis, you got a killer candle yesterday, nice inside day. Man, I'll tell you, um, we start to pop up over the 50 if it does that today. If man, you just want to get all aboard, right? Well, I think the safer play is to wait over that 1590, and then let's look for $20.50 up here as a target. So somewhere in the neighborhood of a 24% trade, and then reevaluate at this level because that's where some resistance is right here. So anyway, there's my 2 cents for the day, the morning. Market is still under pressure here, pre-market. We'll see what it does during the day. Be careful not to chase too early in the morning. History has shown us that the market likes to give you a little doorway, and then it comes in and slams your fingers in it. So be a little cautious. I doubt seriously today is going to be any spectacular market move. Certainly might be spectacular trading for somebody, but not necessarily a spectacular market move here. Just notice that there's a lot of energy moving down. So here's XLE. Are we a little bit toppy on energy? We could be. Could a dip be coming? There could be. Is the dip buyable? Wait for the buy signal. You guys all have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all Monday, okay? Take care. Thanks a lot. Back here when the market opens up.